My name is Knowledge Build Hudson. I'm a digital equity advisor with NTIA. It is my esteemed pleasure to open and welcome you to today's digital equity celebration. Today we gather to celebrate and recognize the incredible work you're doing in the greater Pittsburgh area to close the digital divide. Before we immerse ourselves in today's celebrations, let's take a moment to acknowledge the indigenous peoples and nations, including the Shawnee, Lenape, and Seneca, who stewarded this land for generations in what is now the city of Pittsburgh. We pay respect to these tribal nations and peoples present, past, and futures. I'm excited to be here in Historic Hill celebrating with you, digital equity practitioners, the residents, elected officials, and advocates. August Wilson's home is right down the street, right? Josh Gibson's field is right behind us. Legends walked these streets, played in this wreck, and your work continues that legacy. To the digital equity practitioners and residents, your tireless work has not gone unnoticed. Your dedication and innovation illuminate the path towards a just and equitable region. Thank you for being the heart and soul behind these transformative changes. To the elected officials and advocates who champion these initiatives, your vision and leadership has been pivotal. Your commitment to digital inclusion laid and continue to lay the groundwork for connecting and empowering communities. We are grateful for your steadfast support. Digital equity refers to ensuring that every person, community has the necessary information, technology, and resources to fully participate in society, democracy, and the economy. Digital equity fosters inclusivity, promotes social and economic justice, and helps individuals thrive in a technology-driven society. It levels the playing field through equal access to information, education, job opportunities, healthcare services, and civic engagement platforms. By providing access to affordable, high-speed internet, appropriate devices, and digital learning trainings, we open the doors to new realms of educational and economic opportunity. Today's agenda is filled with inspiring speakers that will highlight the digital equity achievements and collaborative efforts in this region. We'll hear updates for the Internet for All programs from Assistant Secretary Davidson, insights into local initiatives from CIO Heidi Norman, and keynote remarks from our Mayor Ed Gainey. Community voices from Middleton Learning Center and 7 will provide firsthand perspectives, and NTIA's Digital Equity Director Angela Thee Bennett will offer a national perspective highlighting the impacts of digital equity investments. A roundtable discussion will explore actionable strategies with local leaders and experts moderated by Nicole Ugarte. We'll conclude with a discussion on ways to engage NTIA, the PA State Broadband Office, and regional digital equity initiatives, followed by a networking session. I'm so proud to call Pittsburgh my home, especially knowing the great strides being made to bridge the digital divide here in southwestern Pennsylvania. Thank you all for that. So now I would like to pass the microphone to my colleague and friend, Nicole Ugarte.
Thanks so much, Knowledge Build, and don't worry, we'll get to those inspiring leaders he was referring to shortly. Hello, everyone. If we haven't had the pleasure to meet, my name is Nicole Ugarte. I'm the Federal Program Officer for Pennsylvania. In this capacity, it is really my pleasure to work with stakeholders from all disciplines, industry, local government, our nonprofit community, folks on the street, to make sure that everyone has access to reliable, affordable, high-speed internet. I think that Pittsburgh is the perfect place to have this event for so many reasons. What a model of collaboration and coordination across the community to really look at what does digital equity mean, how do we serve people, how do we solve these complex problems together. In the creation of the State Digital Equity Plan, Pittsburgh is where I really learned that digital equity is really a process, not a destination, and that digital equity really has no borders. We really have to look at how do we involve systems change with local engagement and coordination. So we have a packed agenda today. So in that regard, it's my honor to introduce Assistant Secretary Alan Davidson, the Assistant Secretary for Commerce, for Communications and Information, and NTIA Administrator, to give an update on the Internet for All program. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. We're so lucky to have a terrific federal program officer here in the state of Pennsylvania, and thank you for your work. And I will just say it is It is so great to be here. It's a boisterous room. It was a little loud. It was a little hard to get everybody's attention today, and I'm excited about the excitement here. And I want to say thank you to the mayor for hosting us, for having us here today, for joining us here today. And we've got a room full of folks from the governor's office, from the county, national experts, local leaders, and so glad to be able to be here with you all today. So thank you. And it's great to be in Pittsburgh, a city that knows something about building America, from the steel that formed the backbone of our economy to the research institutions that are paving the way to the future. And Pittsburgh's transformation is a testimony and a testament to the resilience, to innovation, and to the power of community. I'm not so sure I'm down with the whole fries on everything piece of it, but it is inspiring to be here. We're here today because the internet is now the essential tool for communications in our modern world, right? It's essential for access to work, access to education, access to healthcare, access to justice. And yet here we are in 2024, and there are still millions of people across America, thousands of people and families and homes across Pennsylvania that lack access to that basic high-speed internet connection, or lack the means or the skills or the tools to use it. That is about to change. We've been talking about the digital divide in this country for over 25 years. But now, thanks to the Biden-Harris administration's Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, we finally have the resources to do something serious about it. We call it the Internet for All initiative, and it starts with a simple but ambitious goal: connect everyone across America, and we do mean everyone across America and here in Pennsylvania, to affordable, reliable, high-speed internet service. That is our goal. That's our starting point. We also know that a connection alone is not enough. Americans also need devices, they need skills, they need the know-how to thrive online. That's why I'm so excited to be here today, to announce the launch of our Digital Equity Competitive Grant Program. The Notice of Funding Opportunity that we just released today makes available over $900 million, actually nearly $1 billion, to support projects to help people obtain the skills and the technology that they need to reap the full benefits of our digital economy. These programs are going to support a range of communities. We call them covered populations in the law, including veterans, seniors, low-income Americans, rural communities, people with disabilities. This program is the beating heart of what we are trying to achieve in our Internet for All efforts. So what's it going to look like in practice? It depends on your community, right? It might mean providing laptops and hotspots for veterans. It might mean helping aging populations learn how to visit a doctor from the comfort of their home to use telehealth. It could mean helping a family farmer use new and evolving technologies to better manage their crops. It could mean making sure a child living near poverty has a tablet to do their homework. The need for these programs is clear. And thanks to many in this room, others across the country, we've already been making progress towards these goals. Every state and territory has, for the first time in our history, a digital equity plan. We didn't have that before. That's new because of this program. Through our digital equity capacity grants for states and territories, we're making grants to states and territories to help them implement those plans, over $800 million. This program takes it to another level. With this new competitive grant program, we're expanding the funding base. It's not going to just be states and territories. It's a broad range of applicants who can be part of this: nonprofits, political subdivisions, city and county governments, native entities, local organizations. We've got a full list at ntia.gov. Check it out. But the point is, lots of organizations are going to be able to apply for this, and that's really exciting. I just want to take a moment, pause, and say this work does not happen by itself. This has been the culmination of a lot of work by a lot of folks, and I just want to give a quick shout out to a couple of folks on our team who've been working on this. Angela Ty Bennett, who's sitting here, Knowledge Build Hudson, who you heard from, local residents here, Nicole, our federal program officer, Barbara Cotton, who's somewhere in the room, our head of external affairs, Francella, who's, if you haven't met her, if you've met her, you know, because she's a force of nature, Viola, Zoe, there's a whole group of us, many others, who've been working for a long time to get to this day. So I just want to say thank you, and if you would join me in a round of applause for all the folks who Okay, for those in the room and for those listening who are thinking about applying for this program, let me just say a couple of quick words of advice. How do you prepare? 3 quick things. First, I'd say consider partnerships. Like, this is a tough program. It's going to be very competitive. We really encourage people to join coalitions, be part of partnerships, especially, a lot of small organizations who aren't used to doing federal grant applications or all the paperwork we ask of you. You might be better off with a group. So we're really encouraging people to think about that. Second, focus on real problems. We want to see real world applications of this money. That is what is going to get the attention of the people who are reviewing these grant proposals. And the last thing I'd say is don't wait till the last minute to apply. This is going to be a very competitive program. You don't want to be the person whose technology failed at the last minute and wasn't able to get their application in on time. That happens, and we hate it when it happens. So please get cracking. Applications are due in 2 months, September 23rd. Okay, Angie's telling me I got that right. So time is a-wasting. I will just say in closing, we're here to celebrate the launch of this program, but today's announcement is actually part of something bigger that is happening across this country, across America. We're in the midst of a historic moment. There is a movement that's growing across the country to close the digital divide. It's happening, you can see it on the sides of roads where new cable and conduit is being laid. It's happening on factory floors where fiber optic cables and network equipment are being manufactured here in the United States. And it's happening in community centers and senior centers, libraries and schools and community colleges with church groups and veterans groups, where digital skills are being taught and shared. All of you now are part of this movement to connect everyone in America. And because of that growing movement, I am convinced we will look back 10 years from now or 20 years from now and say, this was the moment, this was the time that we stepped up together and closed the digital divide. It is going to take a lot of work. We need everybody to do their part. Today is a really important milestone in that journey. And so I want to thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your partnership. And I look forward to working with everyone here to make this dream of the Internet for all a reality at last. So thank you.
Thank you, Assistant Secretary Davidson. I'm excited to introduce Leo Brainerd, who serves as the Director of the National Economic Council at the White House National Economic and the White House Economic Advisor. Director Brainerd coordinates economic policy across the Biden-Harris administration and has been a pioneer of efforts to bring high-speed internet to all Americans. She has a distinguished career as an economist at the Federal Reserve and at the Treasury Department. No further ado, Dr. Brainerd.
Well, thank you for that great introduction. It is so exciting to be here. On behalf of the President and the Vice President, I want to thank all of you for being critical partners in our efforts to expand internet access to all Americans. I want to particularly thank Mayor Gainey for his tremendous leadership and his incredible partnership. Assistant Secretary Alan Davidson, the entire team at the Department of Commerce are leading incredible work, and we are so excited about the announcement they are making today. As the mayor knows, President Biden and Vice President Harris have a real soft spot for Pittsburgh, and it's not just because of the pierogies. It's a union town that quite literally laid America's foundations and that continues to lead and innovate this century. This administration recognizes that the success of our broader economic agenda for the nation is fundamentally tied to the success of places like Pittsburgh. The president and the vice president had a plan to rebuild the foundations of the nation's economy so that it works for all Americans. That means fixing our roads and bridges, expanding healthcare access, and making sure that every American has access to high-speed internet. It's not a luxury, it is a critical gateway that enables Americans to start and grow small businesses, to invest in education and training, to take on new job opportunities. That's why we're investing $90 billion overall to connect every American to affordable high-speed internet, including investing in the physical infrastructure needed to get to every community in America. We've already allocated $42.5 billion to local expansion in over half of the states, and construction is underway on networks funded by this administration that will connect communities for the first time. But we need to go even further if we're going to connect that last mile, particularly to reach groups that have not traditionally had good access. And that means groups like seniors, low-income Americans, veterans. That's why we are very thrilled with this notice of funding opportunity from the Digital Equity Act competitive grant program. We've seen the best way to connect those harder groups is through the dedicated and innovative programs that are on the ground from people who know their communities and know how to enable them. So the nearly $1 billion funding opportunities we're announcing today is really designed to lift up local tailored programs that are designed for communities by people that are in those communities who know those communities. Much of this will build on the work of local leaders and organizations. Of course, I want to make a shout out to the Greater Pittsburgh Digital Inclusion Alliance, which has been critical in crafting the overall digital equity strategy for the region. But the kinds of initiatives we're talking about today might be training seniors, providing hotspots for families that are housing insecure, teaching aspiring small business owners how to market their products or services online, providing tablets or other devices during job training programs, loaning tablets or laptops so that rural patients can access telehealth. When I think about internet access, I'll just leave you with this thought. I think about people like Alicia Jones from the president's home state, second home state of Delaware, who introduced the president of the White House in 2022. She's a single mom with 2 children who was struggling to pay her bills and found it difficult to afford high-speed internet access. But because of our program, she was able to access low-cost internet, and that meant her 18-year-old son was able to complete his college applications. Her 12-year-old child was able to watch videos that helped with his math homework. And she herself was able to use the internet to volunteer at her church. Those are the stories that we want to enable with these funding opportunities today here in Pittsburgh and around the country. That's what these opportunities are all about. It's going to take creative solutions and community-led approaches, and the funding that we're announcing today is intended to lift those up. So thank you very much. We're excited to partner with you.
All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Heidi Norman. I'm the Chief Information Officer for the City of Pittsburgh, and I want to thank my colleagues and friends from the Department of Commerce and the White House. Thank you all for coming here today to Pittsburgh, to our wonderful hometown. It's really meaningful that you're here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why creating digital opportunities is so important for our region, and then I'm going to drop some really broad hints on why we should qualify for the funding we're talking about. How's that? Okay, so in 2022, Mayor Ed Gainey and former county executive Rich Fitzgerald convened the Pittsburgh Digital Equity Coalition. And the task at hand was to make a plan to close the digital divide for all of the residents across our region. And the coalition was made up of over 20 organizations that directly serve the people of southwestern Pennsylvania, who came together and put in the work as partners to determine how we could together overcome this challenge, much as we have overcome challenges and renewed the strength of this region many times in the past. So the Pittsburgh Digital Equity Coalition published their community strategic plan in December of 2023. This plan is available on the City of Pittsburgh website, pittsburghpa.gov. Thank you. So we published it in 2023, and Mayor Gainey, former County Executive Rich Fitzgerald, along with our new County Executive, Sarah Namorato, committed their full support to implementing this plan. And today, through the Biden administration's groundbreaking Internet for All program and the digital equity funding from the NTIA and the Department of Commerce, we have the opportunity to achieve the 3 goals that we identified as a group to create digital opportunities for the people living and working in this region. First, robust internet at an affordable price for all residents so that no one needs to choose between paying for basic needs like food and transportation or their monthly internet service bill. Today, a strong, fast internet connection is recognized as a basic need, and that's why organizations like the United Way of Southwestern Pennsylvania offers support to anyone who calls their 211 helpline to find resources when they have a need related to digital services. And internet service providers like Community Internet Solutions, T-Mobile, Comcast, and Verizon are partnering with our member organizations to provide support and offer choices in services for better pricing and speeds to our residents. Second, we want to expand on digital skills training programs by developing sustainable sources of funding for those programs and creating unified curricula to be used throughout the region. The Pittsburgh Digital Equity Coalition members are dedicated to providing digital skills training programs which are accessible to everyone and must be woven into the fabric of our community. So whether that means after-school programs at our parks and recreation centers, in training programs that are specifically designed for our seniors, veterans, new immigrants in our community, or folks with hearing and visual accessibility issues, or just plain hardworking folks who want to participate in a growing economy in this region and to have the opportunity for promotion and higher wages. That is why organizations like the Carnegie Library and the libraries in the Allegheny County Library Association, Literacy Pittsburgh, the STEM Coding Lab, and many others, please forgive me if I did not name you all, offer digital skills training classes across this region, and most of those classes are free for the taking. 3, we want to ensure that all families have computing devices that meet their needs, and a call center to provide technical support that is appropriate for the individual's needs and skill levels, because things are gonna break, right? And we all need help when that happens. So organizations like Goodwill of Southwestern Pennsylvania, Computer Reach, and the University of Pittsburgh are working collaboratively to determine how we can expand on programs that refurbish computing devices to keep them out of our landfills and redistribute them to people in need, along with technical support to assist when something goes wrong. The wind-up. With the leadership of Allegheny County, the City of Pittsburgh, the Greater Pittsburgh Digital Inclusion Alliance, and the University of Pittsburgh to galvanize our community toward closing the digital divide, I know that the residents we serve will be afforded more equitable opportunities so that everyone is included in the digital economy for job seekers and the myriad positions which require digital skills for promotion and career opportunities, for healthcare access for online consultations with their physicians, nurses, getting their test results, making appointments, and for educational opportunities to take advantage of online classes and degree programs from educational institutions which can match the needs of the students to the learning program for people who are seeking to learn and grow. Together, I believe we can make Pittsburgh the safest, most welcoming city in America where everyone can live and thrive. It is now my honor to introduce and welcome to the podium the mayor of the great city of Pittsburgh, the Honorable Ed Gainey.
Before I start, there's just some people I want to recognize because I know that they've been great teammates, and I know that it takes a team to make things like this happen. One, I know that the Governor Josh Shapiro's people is here, and I want to recognize them. Can you raise your hand? The governor's people? Appreciate that. Yeah. Senator John Fetterman's people is here as well. I also want to thank Senator Casey, Congresswoman Summer Lee, and Congressman Davidson for their cooperation and help. I think Secretary Davidson said it correctly. Everybody that's in here right now that's part of our digital equity team, just stand up for a minute. If you're part of our digital equity team, just stand up. I see several of y'all here. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for coming out because we recognize how important this is. I also want to thank President Biden for his partnership with the city. His bipartisan infrastructure bill has been incredible for a couple reasons. One, without him, the Fern Hollow Bridge would not have got up as soon as it did. Secondly, we would not have been selected out of one of 5 cities to have a workforce development, workforce hub. And thirdly, we wouldn't have this digital opportunity that we have today. So I want to thank President Biden for that and Vice President Kamala Harris for her advocacy to make sure that we eliminate the digital divide. Secretary Davidson, I want to thank you. I appreciate it that you came to the historic HILL, the Hill District, to talk about a $1.25 billion, let me say that again, $1.25 billion digital equity grant program. Y'all should clap for him. Come on. You know, in the city, we know a couple things. We know that for far too long, we've known the truth about the digital divide. We know that our seniors have been left behind. We know that our Black and brown communities have been left behind. And we also know that if you make under $20,000 a year severe poverty, you've been left behind. You've been left behind and you can't grow if you don't have the knowledge of how to deal with any type of digital equity at all. So I'm glad I got a son and daughter that can help me out a lot. You know, we know too well how innovation and transformation can leave and have left communities behind. But no more. No more. No one should be left behind. We can't build a strong America if we're not coming together as a group, as a unit to talk about the future and what the future looks like. And the future is digital. And since we know it's digital, that's why we have our digital equity team, because if we're not touching every aspect of this city, then we're not preparing nobody for the next economy that's already here. Our transformation to the EDS and MEDS economy, one that drives technological advances in robotics and medical engineering, will not leave anybody behind as well. These funds will help fund projects that will help make sure that cities like ours will have the funds, the tools, and the necessary equipment to be able to educate people all over the city about digital equity and make sure that everybody receives it. Everyone, no matter where they live, deserves to have access to reliable, high-speed internet service budget-friendly commuting devices, technical support, and digital skills training. In order for everyone to have an opportunity to thrive in the digital economy, we must make sure that we provide all the tools necessary for them to do that. I also want to recognize my team. I see Lisa Franks, Chief Operating Officer, Pittsburgh Public Schools. I see them here. Angela Mike, Alexis Walker from my team. Thank you for all you're doing. I want to make sure I lift them up. Castor Binion from the Housing Authority, thank you. Network in October 2023 to connect people to low internet digital devices is extremely important. People who contacted United Way, you just heard about it from Ms. Norman. United Way's 211 help centers are connected to expert staff at Literacy Pittsburgh, Goodwill of Southwestern Pennsylvania, the Venice Center, YMCA of Westmoreland County, and more. Let me tell you what I believe in. I'm not telling you what I think, I just want to share with you what I believe in. Frederick Douglass once said it is much easier to build strong children than it is to repair broken men. And if we are going to be serious about reducing poverty in America and in this city, it is up to us to get our children prepared for the digital economy that is here right now. If we're going to break the chains of poverty, it's important. It's important that in every community, particularly low-income communities, underserved communities that have not experienced the type of education and training that is needed in order to prepare them for the digital economy, that we are out there every single day educating them, teaching them, re-instructing them to make sure that they understand how important this is. 1.25 billion is nothing to sneeze at. But what's more than 1.25 billion is our children. If our children are not prepared, if they're not ready, please don't let me hear you say shame on them. Say shame on us. It is up for us to get the next generation ready. And we have a great opportunity to do that right now. But it's going to take all of us. Secretary Davidson is correct. Collaborations build nations. We ready to build ours? I can't hear you. Let me say that again. Collaborations build nations. Are we ready to build ours? Yes! This is what we got to do. They learn from us. They watch us. They mock us. Trust me, I know. My son works here, so I can do that right now. He had a good time telling me I was going in the wrong direction, and all I had to do was follow him. I had to remind him, you got to go home tonight, right? Got a whole lot of chores you might want to do now. But I say all that to say this on a serious note. One, I just really want to say thank you. I do. Because you came to a community that knows all too well about the underserved. You came to a community that for years and years have been neglected. And for you to be in the historic HILL today, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you being here. And I appreciate everybody who is helping to really prepare the next generation. You know my motto. It's real simple. Let's go get it.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Reverend Paul Wade. I am the senior pastor at St. Paul AME Church in McKeesport, and also I'm the president of the Anna Middleton Wade Learning Center. Now, you know when you put a microphone in front of a preacher. See, Mayor Gainey done started it already, but see, I'm gonna finish what he started. See, he's talking about our youth, and that's right, but at the center, at the Anna Middleton Wade Learning Center, we're taking a different approach. We're starting with the seniors. The seniors is the one that's left behind. Do you know that in Allegheny County, we are the second in United States, second with the highest population of seniors in the United States, besides Palm Beach, Florida, which we don't want to be there anyway. Pittsburgh's a great city. But here at the Anna Middleton Wade Learning Center, what we do is we're tackling the digital divide on the ground with our seniors. We're teaching them about basic internet, security, because see, one of the biggest things that our seniors have is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear that they see all the time about scams being online. So our classes, we teach them. Our classes are free. We go to where the seniors are because of the fact that transportation has always been a big problem for seniors. So we go to where they are, and we conduct our classes at the senior centers, at churches, anywhere that seniors can gather, that's where we go. We've been all through Allegheny County and the surrounding communities, and what we do is we have a program that we teach them about the basic internet securities, basic internet. We teach them about the websites and all that other different stuff that they need, telecommunications, telehealth. We teach them about that because, see, you know, back in the day, and I'm gonna speak for myself because I know there's a few older people in here. Back in the day, when you look at the cartoon and you seen Dick Tracy look at his watch and was able to talk, that was back in the cartoon days. That's for real now. That's for real now. Everybody in here got one of these. If you don't have one of these, you're not in the 21st century. Everybody got one of these here. Our seniors do not know how to use these. We need to teach them because, see, they were left out. Once COVID hit, it was proven that the digital divide was great, especially among the seniors because they were isolated. They didn't have no way to get to the grocery store. They didn't have no way to get to the doctors. Everything is digital now. Even buying Girl Scout cookies, you got to get online. So we believe at the Anna Middleton Way Learning Center that it is essential to teach our seniors because they are here now. And they need this here education to stay up with everything that is going on. But I'd like to thank the NTIA, and hopefully they'll look at my organization, shove a little bit of money to us so we can continue on with this here education. It's competitive, and we're gonna be competitive too. We're gonna be competitive too. But it's essential for that. And that's the spoken wheel that we deal with. I know that the digital divide is a big wheel. There's many of spokes, and we're part of the spokes that we deal with the seniors. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to take a moment today to thank everyone in the room for being here, for your presence, your time, your energy. I'd like to invite you to take a moment to express gratitude for our breath, for our presence on this earth. My name is Kimberly Inthabong, and I'm a mental health advocate and suicide prevention specialist. I'm dedicated to my work in promoting empathy through the power of storytelling. So let me tell you a little story. It all started in high school. I was a part of a teen suicide prevention group, and we wanted to share our stories and our experiences with mental health crises beyond the communities that we served. So we thought, okay, let's get together after school, record this video, edit it, and post it to YouTube. Surprisingly, it got very popular, and we had the opportunity to travel across the nation to talk to students and their parents about our experiences with mental illness. We even connected with a fairly secluded reservation in New Mexico, got to meet them in person and have lunch and talk about our experiences. Back then, mental health was not a hot topic like it is today, and YouTube and social media, it was a relatively new platform, but it allowed us to connect with people from all over the world and share our stories and let them know that they weren't alone. Now, as an adult, I collect stories from people and their experiences with mental health crisis and share them on an online storytelling platform. I started doing this because I realized that my story alone wasn't going to reach the masses. You might not be able to relate to me because you don't look like me, you don't know me, or you didn't go through what I went through. So I went online and I started to seek this online army of people just like me who wanted to share their stories of resiliency, their survivals through mental illness, and give them a platform to have a national audience, a worldwide audience. So imagine on your worst day, everything's going wrong, and you're scrolling on your phone, you're scrolling on Instagram or Facebook, and you see a video and it stops you in your tracks because it looks like someone like you. It looks like someone from your hometown. It looks like someone you love that has passed away, and you needed to see this today. And in this video, they're encouraging you to stay another day, to fight for your life, to stay positive. You got this. So that is my story in a nutshell. Access to internet means access to mental health care, peer-to-peer support online groups, online therapy services, knowledge and resources that can start your mental health journey. Mental health issues have been long stigmatized and overlooked for many years. But the advent of the internet has become a platform for having these conversations about mental health, making mental health care less stigmatized, more accessible, inclusive, and effective. For example, people who are veterans can connect with specialized therapists who understand their unique experiences, regardless of their location in the world, and provide them with comfort and services for their mental health in the comfort of their own home. This also goes for seniors and those who are disabled. Consider individuals in rural or underserved areas. Before the internet, these communities had very limited access to mental health services, usually due to geographical shortages of therapists. Consider living in a small town where everybody knows you and everybody knows your business, and you walk into your local therapist's office, and Shirley from down the street sees you, and you know she's a gossip. She's gonna tell everybody. You don't want that. So with online counseling services, you can seek support anonymously without revealing your identity. This can be a crucial barrier, a significant barrier to asking for help and support, which is already as hard as it is. And it doesn't need to be any harder with not having access to the internet. As a mental health advocate, I am committed to leveraging the power of the internet to create a world where everyone has access to mental health care that they need. The internet bridges the gap between those in need of simply someone to talk to and those who wish to help. Platforms like BetterHelp and Talkspace connects users to licensed therapists. Another platform called 7 Cups is just a place where you can talk to anyone 24/7, all day, every day, just to talk to someone when you need someone. This is an incredible world that we are living in right now, where we often do feel alone, but we know that we're not. We know that other people just like us are out there. This can make the difference between seeking help and easily drowning in something that many of us already have or will struggle with in our lifetime, seeing as 1 in 5 Americans already struggle with a mental health crisis in their lifetime, often more than once. So I'm committed to continuing my journey, thanks to the internet, thanks to the connection, and thank everyone for being a part of the journey and their dedication and hard work for making internet and mental health care accessible to all. Thank you.
Greetings, and thank you for allowing me to join you today. My name is Angela Thee Bennett, and I am honored to serve as your Digital Equity Director under the United States Department of Commerce's National Telecommunications and Information Administration. My pronouns are she, her. I am a Vietnamese Black female in my early 50s. I have mid-length, curly black hair, and am wearing a pink dress. I want to take a moment to extend my heartfelt gratitude to my colleagues from NTIA who tirelessly work behind the scenes every day on behalf of the American people. Those of you who are with us here today, Brett, Samantha, Knowledge Build, Nicole, Barbara, Francella, Viola, Lauren, and Anna, and those of you who are joining us virtually, Michelle, Bio, Laura, Charles, Tom, Rochelle, and Katie. And to our amazing leadership, Susanna, Doug, Alan, and Secretary Armando, for their leadership grounded in integrity, excellence, and kindness. Additionally, I want to extend a special thank you to the City of Pittsburgh Mayor Gainey and his incredible team, Heidi, Maria, Lisa, Sue, and even Coach Porter, who I had a chance to meet today, for stepping up to help us put this celebration together. Your support and commitment has been invaluable in making this event a success. So today, as we gather to celebrate a significant milestone in our journey towards digital equity and opportunity for all Americans, the theme of my remarks today is a whole-of-nation approach to creating digital opportunities. And it perfectly encapsulates the collective effort and collaboration required to achieve our goals. We often face dilemmas where either the will exists and not the funding, or we have the funds but the lack of will. However, under the leadership of the Biden-Harris administration, we have both the will and the funding. Today, with your support, we launched a grant program that will make available nearly $1 billion to ensure that everyone will have access to the digital opportunities they need to fully participate in society and the economy. The pandemic revealed what many of us already knew too well, that access to affordable, reliable, high-speed internet is a basic necessity. But as we know, far too many Americans have been left out and left behind. Without it, our learners can't access online classes, our seniors can't access healthcare from the comfort and safety of their own homes, and job seekers can't apply for jobs because all applications are online. Your zip code or your income should not determine whether you have access to a basic necessity. When we allow people to remain deprived of a basic necessity, we send a very strong message that they are not worthy. But with the significant investments made by this administration, we are telling the American people, you are all worthy. We are not just doing to communities, we are serving with communities. Our programs are designed to engage those most impacted, center their voices, and together co-create solutions that will improve their lives. These digital equity investments are transformative. They are not just about providing access to technology, but about empowering individuals and communities to thrive in an increasingly digital world. Access to digital opportunities can transform education, enhance healthcare, boost economic growth, and foster civic engagement. It is about ensuring that everyone, regardless of their backgrounds or where they live, has the chance to succeed in a digital age. And as my family, friends, and colleagues know, I'm a dreamer. I believe in a world of possibilities. When there is hope, anything is possible. You just have to believe and have a will. And here in America, at this historic time, the stars have all aligned. We believe, we have a will, and there's funding. As we continue on our journey to serve our country, I challenge each of us to ask ourselves, how can we show up for each other and not just take up space, but hold space for marginalized communities to speak their truths, reimagine their futures, and be that change for their communities? How can we leverage our power and our privilege to expand our tables, go to the tables of those who have been excluded, and bring those who have been excluded to other tables of privilege? And as we all approach this work, I challenge us to question the possibilities. How can we ensure that all individuals with disabilities have access to the digital opportunities needed to engage in meaningful work opportunities, be self-sufficient, and live in dignity? and they too experience that they are worthy. What about the hardworking family in rural America already spending $200 per month on the internet, hitting data caps mid-month? Forced to make the painful decision to tap into their hard-earned savings for their children's online learning, but were denied the extra data by their provider. To avoid choosing which child can learn that day, they resort to sitting in a church parking lot for internet access. What if we envisioned the possibilities for this family? If they had access to a basic necessity and experienced that they too are worthy? And what if we unlearned our biases around those justice-impacted individuals and reframe how we see them? What if we saw them as human beings that deserve to be treated with dignity? Imagine creating an ecosystem where every returning citizen has access to opportunities to increase their digital skills, to become economically self-sufficient for themselves and their families. This in turn strengthens our economy and the fabric of our country. And they too, many for the first time, experience that they are worthy. I mean, what happens when we question the possibilities? So in closing, I strongly urge us to remain steadfast in our sense of urgency and to inspire hope. In the words of Angela Davis, you have to act as if it were possible to radically transform the world, and you have to do it all the time. This work will be messy and hard, but well worth it. That being said, let us extend grace to one another, because even with the best of intentions, mistakes will be made, but they will create opportunities for us to all learn, grow, and become better. And finally, and most importantly, we must approach our service to the people with love. Because with love, all things are possible. So don't stop striving, don't stop believing, and don't stop dreaming. Question the possibilities and inspire hope into the lives of every person you touch. Thank you so much for allowing me to join you today. I am truly honored and excited about the work that we will all do together and for the transformational impact on our communities, our states, our nation, and Americans everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all of the people who showed up. The people who are on the live stream don't know that this is a standing room only place. And all of the people who are in the room, I was actually reading a chat and someone said, am I crying? No, are you crying? Part of it is the magic that people are feeling through the live stream is because of the magic in this room. I've been a digital equity advocate for several years. I have been dreaming about ways to bring people into rooms and give them agency. And I've been working on ways to make sure that we are scaffolding opportunities to give people power, make sure that people can change. And I want to just, one last warning before you walk out of this room, don't you walk out of this room and stay the same. That's right. Don't. So we've heard so many things from so many people about visionary leadership right behind, sitting not only behind me, but also in front of me. All of the people who didn't get to come up to this podium, we see you, we believe in your work, and I want to make sure that we find ways to connect, to collaborate, and to build power. So a couple of options here for today. We are going to have the press, you'll have an opportunity to ask questions just for a few moments after. We're going to stay in this room. And then also for the people who are interested in connecting with state, county, and also federal officials, we're going to be moving into the roundtable discussion in the room just outside to your left. If you need anything, there are lots of not only NTIA people, but also City of Pittsburgh staff who can point you in the right direction. And I do want to say one more heartfelt thank you to the City of Pittsburgh. Mayor Gainey, I don't know if you know how amazing your staff is, but we looked at a lot of different cities to start this announcement. And I remember the first meeting with the person in your staff, and we knew that this was the right place. And literally from the first moment that we've been here, we have been embraced with love. So that is something that you can't create that anywhere else. So all of the magical people in this room, I want to make sure you go and sprinkle your magic somewhere. I want to make sure that you actually connect with people and make sure that you actually acknowledge somebody in this room, express your gratitude, and make sure you find a way to collaborate. To the people on the live stream, thank you so much for joining us for this hour. We appreciate you.